Hey Flosstube, it's Tiffany with Tiff and Stitches. Welcome. Nice to see you guys again. So I did not do a good job of filming on Thursday like I said I was going to. I said I was going to get back on my Thursdays, but you know what? I think Mondays are the new thing. I think they're the new thing. My kid is in school every Monday, so I'm not doing virtual learning. The baby's in daycare, and I have my lunch break that I can film for you guys. So this might be the new norm. We have to adapt, and virtual learning was not anything that I anticipated being a part of my routine, but it is, at least for one more week. Hopefully everything goes smoothly with him going back to school next Tuesday, or starting school, not even going back to school. This is his first year. He's a kindergartner. So, anyway, welcome to anyone who is new here, and then to everyone who's returning, thanks for coming back and hanging out with me. I have a decent amount to show you guys today. I'm excited. I do want to, before I show you anything though, I want to talk to you guys a little bit. So in the past 2 weeks, since you've seen me last, I have made some changes in the way that I'm approaching cross stitch. So that's kind of vague, but basically I was just starting all the things because I had been out of the world for so long that there were all these new patterns that had come out since I had been away. I was catching up on Flosstube, and just as I was watching videos, I was just getting inspired to start all of these new projects. I was finding new designers on Instagram, and I just wanted to start everything. And that's why in my last video I had like 7 new starts or something ridiculous. So in watching some other Flosstubers that I'll mention later in the video, I kind of came up with a new plan for myself to keep me seeing progress, because that's been the biggest thing this year that's been keeping me motivated, is that I'm seeing progress and getting finishes. I think that's one of the reasons why I went away and out of the community for 2 years, was that I was working on these larger projects and I wasn't getting enough progress to actually finish anything. And I love the process of stitching, but I want these items for my home and for my family. And, you know, I had gifted a lot of things, so I didn't have anything really to show. I had one pattern that I kept for myself out of the 3 finishes that I'd had prior to this year. And then the first finish of this year is a gift. I still have it in my possession, but it's a gift for someone. But since then, I finished a lot of things that are mine to keep. So that's a good feeling. I still want to gift cross stitch. I still think it's an awesome gift. And I have gifted, I gifted that single step pattern to Aunt Christy. So I still want to gift things, but I want to make some stuff for my home. So my new approach, long story short, is that I am allowing myself it's a two-tiered system. The first step of it is that I want to see progress on my WIPs. I've started all these projects. I had a lot of WIPs before I started these projects. I think I'm in the 20s now with the number of WIPs that I have, which isn't a huge number, but it's enough that I want to get some stuff finished. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on a WIP for 5 days, because I feel like in 5 days, I can see a decent amount of progress and I don't get bored. I get excited for the next thing, but I'm also excited with the progress that I'm seeing on the WIP that I'm working on. And then every 3rd WIP that I work on for 5 days, I'm allowing myself a new start, because I have the list of things that I want to start this in the near future is like ginormous. So I am giving myself a new start, and there might be some exceptions to that. Holidays, like, we already passed World Cross Stitch Day, but if something comes along and it doesn't really line up with my schedule, that doesn't mean I'm not going to start something, but I'm trying to limit my new starts so that I'm making progress on everything, if that makes sense. And I did make some little tiny decision wheels to kind of plan that out. So what you're going to see today is I started this right after my last video, this plan. So I have actually worked on 5 days of 3 different projects. This is my 5th day of the 3rd WIP. All WIPs. I have 1 finish out of those WIPs. And then I have 2 WIPs with progress. And then I'll talk to you a little bit about plans, and I'll talk to you about haul, and then we'll pick a giveaway winner, or 2 giveaway winners from last week. So first and foremost, I'll show you my finish. It's actually, well, let me show you what I worked on in order, because I did the tiny decision wheel. The first one is not a finish. The first one is what I picked up after I filmed 2 weeks ago. And this is in my project bag that I made. I've shown you guys this, but, so this is my Do Everything pattern. Let me get it unfolded here, had it all tucked away. Let's see. So this is where I got my goal. I set a goal. So every 5-day rotation, I set a goal for myself. My goal was to finish the big pink flower, and I didn't quite reach it. I almost did, but I got a little distracted. So you can see I've got some fill-in still to do around some of this stuff. There's a big letter down here. So there's only like one more little corner on this page of the flower, and then like a little bit of fill-in right here. But there's a big letter E that goes down right here. So it's almost done, but this is all very confetti. I did all of the big sections, so I just have a little bit more to do of that flower. But I filled in this H, this T, and this is the V. So I started there. I think I got off on this, and that's why I stopped, because something wasn't adding up in this little section right here. I did the center of this flower and obviously filled in a lot of the flower. So I made some good progress in the 5 days. I put in a ton of stitches. There's a lot of stitches in here, but it's just, I didn't quite reach my goal. But that was my first WIP that I worked on for a 5-day period. I was happy with the progress I made in 5 days, but I was ready to move on to something else. So that's where I kind of came up with the 5-day rule. That and some other floss tubers who have kind of done the same thing is how I came up with that. So that was the first thing that I worked on. Oh, I forgot, I also have knitting to show y'all. Yay! I forgot that I worked on knitting. That'll be towards the end though, because most of you are here for the cross stitch, so I'll put that at the end. But the next WIP that I worked on turned into a finish. So I probably should have showed y'all the pattern. Y'all know what the Do Everything pattern looks like. I've showed it in the last few videos. If you don't, go check it out back there. But I'll show you this pattern. So this is my pumpkin truck. And I finished her. She's so beautiful. I can't wait to show you. I have her in another project bag that I made. So that was one of mine. Goes really well with the theme. Now this is a finish because I did finish this entire pattern, but if you watched my prior videos, I'm stitching 3 of these patterns all in one piece. To me, it's still a finish. It's a full pattern finish, but yeah, it's gonna be a bigger piece than just that one. So let me get this ready. Had it all folded. I've been taking, once I finish my 5-day rotation, I've been taking these off the Q snaps and folding them, you know, with stitching in so that they're safe inside the project bag and all that. So this is my finish of Pumpkin Truck. How cute! I have never stitched anything from Shannon Christine Designs. This was my first thing to stitch from her, and her use of color is just so awesome. She really like picks up where the light is coming in at. And like you can see that on the pumpkins right here, like where the light would show, and on the truck, there's just a lot of highlights. I just really enjoy her use of color, and I loved working on this. I absolutely loved every stitch of it. It's a cute little guy. It's tiny, like my hand doesn't even, like it's bigger than the pattern, but it turned out super cute. And the next one from that trio that I'm going to put next to it is this one, Pumpkin House. So that'll go this way, will be the house. So, and the borders are meant, like they're made to connect. So you just start the next border right next to this, and it just makes a continuous piece. So it's pretty easy to combine them. So that'll be the next one that I do in that once I spin the wheel and that new start comes up. then that'll be the next one. This is just being stitched on 32 count natural linen from Hobby Lobby, I think is where I got it. And I like the colors pop on it. I think it looks really good. So that is my second 5-day rotation, and I did finish it. I could have finished it on the 4th day, but it was getting kind of late, and I was like, I only had a few more things to do, and I was like, you know what? I'm enjoying this. I want to work on it tomorrow morning, so I'm going to work on it tomorrow morning. And the last WIP in my rotation is my Quaker Pumpkins by Hello from Liz Matthews. I know a lot of people are working on this right now. I saw that Georgia Girl Stitching posted a video where she did like an ode to Liz Matthews because she loves this pattern, and I agree wholeheartedly. Stitching this has been not only like fun, but like therapeutic, if that makes sense. Like some patterns you really have to like, come on, go back in there. There we go. Some patterns you really have to think about changing colors all the time or counting really precisely because it's all over the place or whatever. This is a Quaker. I've never stitched a Quaker before, but it's very repetitive. So once you get the gist of the pattern, then you know what you need to do next. And so I have been just really enjoying stitching this, really enjoying it. So this is where I'm at. This is the center pumpkin on the pattern. Block my face for a second. This entire half of the pumpkin is done. Obviously the stem is done. All I have left to do is fill in the interior of this, but that border is no joke. This pumpkin has used almost an entire skein of Weeks Dye Works thread, so it's not playing around. It's a pretty big pumpkin. But it is stitching up nicely. I really, really, really like working on it. So if you are on the fence about purchasing this Liz Matthews pattern, she has them as PDFs in her shop now, so they're easily accessible. And I highly recommend you heading over there and trying this one out. The colors are beautiful and it's just a joy. I love stitching it. So she did a great job designing that. And today is my last day on this one. And my goal for this is to finish this pumpkin. So like I said, I have a goal for every 5-day period and I just want to finish this. So that's all I have to do. I have a flower down here and a flower here. And then this center motif has to come, come out like that. This one's almost completely done. I just have to finish this little side of it. Then these are all finished. So I really don't have that much left. It's gonna be pretty simple. So I just wanna finish that tonight and I will meet my goal and I'll put it away for the next thing, which we'll talk about in a second. The next thing that I wanted to show you really quick before I move into my knitting WIP, because I'm gonna just do my knitting WIP before I go into haul. I made another project bag. So this one is, like, I keep saying it's my best one yet, but as you get practice, things just get better, right? So this is my new project bag. It's got cute little pink polka dots on the inside, and then it's got this fun tribal on the outside, and that is housing my Lizzie Kate Things Unseen. I did not work on that this week because it didn't come up in the rotation, but I just wanted to show y'all that I made another project bag. And I love it. It's the only one I've made since my last video. Honestly, I just haven't gotten the time to sit, like, I have all the fabric cut, but it's a process I haven't cut the vinyl, so I should probably just cut a bunch of pieces of vinyl so it's literally like assembly line, because I think that's what hangs me up, is that I have to get the vinyl rolled out, measure it, cut it, and that's the part I haven't done. So I need to do that because all the fabric is cut and ready to go for me to just knock these bags out. And I have so many that I want to make. But once we get to the giveaway, I will have to make 2 bags this week. So, because I have to give them to people. The next WIP that I worked on is a knitting WIP, and there's kind of a story behind this. So if you are a long-term or whatever, if you've subscribed to my channel for a long time, then you know that I have knit before, that I've finished one project in my whole life, and I have a lot of WIPs that I don't think I've ever showed you guys. But I don't know if I've ever told you that my friend from college, which I'm way out of college, but my friend from college is the one who taught me how to knit. She was an older student. She had gone back to college sorry, my boyfriend keeps texting me and I keep getting distracted. She had gone back to college at an older age, and so I was tutoring her in one of our classes, and we became friends, and she taught me how to knit. And unfortunately, I guess it was about, the reason I can't remember if I've told you is that I'm not sure if this had happened when I was filming before, because I'm not sure exactly when, but she, unfortunately, she passed away from cancer a few years ago. I don't know exactly when that happened, but she was my resource. She taught me how to knit. She was kind of my resource. I don't know anyone else that knits, or I didn't. So I put it down, and when she passed away, it kind of held some memories that I wasn't ready to face. So I hadn't knit in many, many, many years. And I got inspired to pick knitting back up just by watching actually Shiloh from Stitch MD. I was watching her and seeing her finishes. I was like, man, I miss it. Like, I miss it. It's so much fun and relaxing and therapeutic. I mean, because it really is. So I decided I was gonna pick it back up, and I was gonna just try it and see how it goes. But I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on yarn initially. There's a caveat to this. So I went to Joann's and I bought some, what I thought was like the nicest of the cheaper yarn to knit a shawl. And I started this shawl 3 times, and the yarn is so fuzzy because it's synthetic or something. I have to look at the label. But it's really fuzzy and it gets all knotted up on itself. So this was my 3rd start. It does have some lace in the shawl, and this is kind of like the bottom corner. And I love the gradient of it. It goes to a deep dark purple. You can't really see it in this swatch because the deep dark purple's up here, but it goes to a really pretty deep dark purple, to tan, to gray, to blue, and it kind of goes through that gradient. And I left this on needles because I might still do it. I haven't totally given up on it yet, but it's so fuzzy that you just catch fuzz from every layer of it, and it gets knotted, and it's not easy to work with. And I was getting frustrated, and I wanted it to be enjoyable. And I was a little bit spoiled because when my friend taught me how to knit, however many years ago, she taught me on hand-dyed yarn. She actually bought me some hand-dyed yarn to start me out knitting. And so the first project I ever finished was with nice hand-dyed yarn. I had never knitted with anything from Michael's or Joann's. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I guess I was just spoiled from the get-go. I got the more expensive, higher quality yarn. And so I wanted it to be enjoyable. So I did a little research to find a local yarn shop around me because I'd never been to one. And I found one. Their card is, oh, maybe it's in here. Maybe it's on the receipt. Oops. Hold on. Maybe the receipt's not in here. Well, their card is in my car. I'll link them down below, but I think it's called the Yarn something boutique. And it's over in Spring. And I was like, I'm gonna get some hand-dyed yarn to try this shawl. And when I was in there, there was a woman who she just started dyeing yarn, and she was doing her first ever trunk show. And this is the only shop that carries her yarn at this point. And I was like, I want to support her. That is so cool. So this is the name of her company, and I will link her Instagram down below, Small Batch Yarns. Don't know who all on here is knitter, but if you are, look her up. She is so sweet, and her yarns are beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So I bought 3 skeins because that's what this pattern calls for. This is the colorway. How pretty is that? And this is my little measly start because I just started it over again. And this yarn is called Dottie's BFF. So I got 3 skeins of that, and this is my little knitting whip. So it's so much easier to work with. like night and day difference. So this is my first time knitting a shawl. It's my first time doing lace. But you know what? I'm figuring it out, and I've had a lot of practice because I have now knit this. This is my fourth time. So I've had a lot of practice with getting the pattern down. I feel like I have the whole first part of it memorized now. So I guess we'll move into haul really quick, and I'll just show you the rest of what I got for knitting supplies, and then we'll just skip back into cross stitch. So bear with me. So like I said, I did get 3 skeins of her yarn. So these are hand dyed. So you can see this one's a little bit darker than this one. They're the same colorway, but it just could be the way they were wound up or the way they were dyed. But that's okay because the shawl I'm knitting actually calls for 3 colors. So I can just switch skeins and put this one in as like a different color in the pattern. So I'm not worried about it. But they're all 3 slightly different. So, but that's what's fun about hand-dyed yarn is that you can kind of get a cool effect even if it's the same colorway. So I got those to knit my shawl. And then I did get a skein of, I think this is Malabrigo. I'm gonna make a hat. Haven't started it yet. Yeah, Malabrigo Mecha is what it's called. So this is a really pretty hand-dyed bulky yarn, and I'm going to make a cute hat out of that. I already have the pattern purchased and everything, so I'll start that eventually. And then the last thing I got was, I'm going to make some socks. I'm going to knit some socks. I've never done it before, but I have been educating myself by watching YouTube videos. So I got some self-striping yarn. You cannot, sorry guys, I bumped you. You can't really tell how beautiful the colors are. You sort of can, but they self-stripe, so it's gonna be really, really pretty. And then for the toe and the heel, I got this purple to correspond with the purple in there. So this will be the toe and the heel of the sock. This will be the self-striping section of the sock. So once I start that, I'll let you guys know. And I got some little needles, some baby needles for my sock. And I got some stitch markers. So that was my haul from the yarn shop. Pretty exciting. The next thing I have to show you is some haul and talk about some plans in the midst of that. So first things first, I've mentioned Shiloh a couple times in this video, but myself and Shiloh from X Stitch MD, if you're not following her, you should. She knits and cross stitches beautifully. It amazes me the finishes she has in cross stitch, and she knits like speedy. One day I'll be that good. But her and I were chatting because she posted on her Instagram that the Gift of Cross Stitch magazine was on sale 50% off for all 72 issues. And so, of course, I heard my little booty over there and purchased all 72 issues for $50. And I think that sale is still going on. So I'll try to remember to put the information in the description box below for that. Last week, I sucked. I didn't put anything in the description box. I need to go fix that. But anyways, I touched base with her after she posted it, told her thank you for posting it. And her and I started chatting, and I was like, hey, let's do a SAL. Why not? There's so many beautiful patterns in these magazines, like so many. And she was like, awesome, let's do it. And then we kind of went back and forth. There's a lot of samplers in there, and it's sampler September. And we went back and forth about which samplers we liked. And of course we decided to pick the biggest one in the entire magazine. So this is the sampler that we're going to start on Labor Day. It's beautiful. It's gonna take me a lifetime, but it's so pretty. It is called the Bristol Sampler by Wall de Champs. I don't know how you say that. WDC Designs. And it's in the final issue of the Gift of Stitching magazine. So if you purchase, it's in the final issue. If you want to stitch along with us, you should. It's going to be fun. But we're starting on Labor Day. And my fabric is on its way. It's not here yet, hopefully tomorrow. But I decided to kit this up with my favorite color. And I ordered 10 skeins, because that's what I'm gonna need stitching this 1/2. 10 skeins. of Color and Cotton Ash Plum. So try to get true to color here. It's a really pretty dark to light purple variegated floss. That's pretty true. You can see the darker portion of it in there. So that is what I'm going to stitch this with on 40 count platinum linen. So that should be here tomorrow, like I said, and then I'll have everything ready to go to start on Labor Day. And as mentioned, 1/2 is what I'm gonna do. Otherwise I would have needed 20 skeins to finish this. So we're doing 10 and we're doing 1/2 and it's gonna be great. That's why we did 40 count. So, sorry guys, my phone rang. So if I'm positioned a little bit differently, I apologize. But at least I left off at like a clean slate. I just finished talking about the sampler, the SAL that we're gonna do. So the next thing I wanted to show you is the rest of kind of my plans from that magazine purchase. So there's so many beautiful patterns throughout the issues, the 72 issues of the Gift of Stitching magazine. Older charts from, like Ink Circles, Lizzie Kate, just a ton of charts. There's so many that I have saved that I'm ready to work on one day. But there's one specifically that I'm going to do as a Christmas gift to someone. And that is, I don't think she would watch this, but just in case, I'm not gonna say, sorry, I bumped the table again. I'm not gonna say who it's for, but this is the Joan of Arc. It's called the Joan of Arc Mystery Sampler. And it came out in 4 parts in the magazine. So that's the first part. There's 4 more. I don't have printed what the total, actually I do in the very back here. Well, it doesn't show you the whole chart, but the 4th section looks like that. And that's section 3. There's section 2 and section 1 is the one I showed you. So that is printed and ready to go for when I want to start it. And I just have to pick my linen and what color thread I'm gonna do that one with. So that's another little gem from my Gift of Stitching magazine. And then as I was looking through the Gift of Stitching magazine, I came across this designer and this pattern, but it wasn't in the magazine. I had to go purchase it. But it was like a designer highlight, I guess, like talking about their designs and whatnot. So I found this and I thought of my boyfriend's mom, that she would love it. It is called Creation by Deborah's Tempting Tangles. Sorry, I can't read. It's backwards for me. So this is it. It's so, like, look at that sun. How beautiful. It has a ton of specialty stitches in it. It's a little intimidating, but it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was without form and void, and darkness was the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the water. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. So it's a Genesis Bible section, but she'll love it, and it fits her vibe. So I'm gonna make that for her for Christmas. And so I'm hoping to start that soon. I ordered the fabric for that as well in my 1, 2, 3 stitch order, so that should be here in the next couple of days. And I'm stitching that on the called for, except I think I went with a higher count, but it's just raw linen. I just went with a higher count than I think they called for it, or they did on the model. And I think that's everything in terms of my plans. My wheel is going to determine what I'm working on, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I already spun it so that I would have like an idea of what I was gonna do, because I'm not patient. But my plans kind of changed because we shifted our SAL to Labor Day instead of the 1st. But I already know which WIPs I am going to be working on for the next 2 weeks. And then obviously I will have that new start. So what I'm thinking is I might move one of my WIPs to start on the 1st and then move my new start a little bit further back. And just do it that way. But it looks like I'm going to be working on Garden Party, Farmhouse Christmas. I'm going to start and probably finish a new one of my Farmhouse Christmas patterns. And then my Prairie Life sampler is coming back out. It hasn't been out in a very long time. So Julie, Gulf Coast Stitches. I'm taking my Prairie Life out of retirement. It's coming. come in to get some love. So maybe I'll finish some border or something on that. That thing's a lifelong project, but so those will be coming out in the next few weeks. I'm not sure what all you'll see before my next video because I will have that new start and maybe another new start because it's a Christmas present and I need to get some stitches in it. So, and plus it's my next new start. I spun this one as my next new start after the SAL anyway. So yeah, I have my plan for September and that's really it. I think that's all that I wanted to really share besides giveaway winners. So I did do a random comment generator for anyone who showed interest in a project bag. I said I would pick 2 of you guys this week for project bags, and I will insert screenshots here of the winners. But the first winner is Carrie Herb. I don't know how you say your last name, but it's on the screen. And she wanted a pumpkin truck bag with blue, which is exactly what I have. So she wants a copy of this guy with the blue and the pumpkin trucks. So she will get one of those. And Jean Gallagher. You are the second winner. And you wanted all the bags. You liked all of them. So you will all comment on your comment and see which one you want as of today and make that for you. When it comes to the giveaway from my last video, I have heard back from one of the winners, but I have not heard back from the other. And I've commented again on her comment. I haven't checked my email today, so I could be lying. Maybe I've heard from her at this point. But I commented again on her comment to see if I can't get her to send me an email with her address. And if I do not hear back, then I will do another drawing. I think she won the fabric. I think I'll have to go back and look. But either way, I'm giving her a chance to claim that, and then I will let you guys know if it's back up for grabs, and I'll pick another winner from that video. I think that's it. I think that's all I have. It's good catching up with you guys as always, and I'm excited to make some more progress on this stuff and check back in with you guys. I do post nightly updates on my Instagram for where I'm at with my WIPs, what my goals are, and if I meet those goals. So if you're interested in that and you like this 5-day plan and you want to stay up to date with it, then definitely give me a follow on Instagram. It's just Tiffin Stitches, just like my YouTube name. Yeah, love to have you over there. So I'm getting close to 1,000 followers on Instagram, so I might do a giveaway on there, hint, hint, once I hit 1,000. So that's it. That's all I got. I'll talk to you guys in a couple weeks. Bye.